what if Mick Schumacher started his F1 career at Alfa Romeo? So in this environment, Antonio Giovinazzi ran out of time. After 2 seasons at Alfa Romeo under Kimi Raikkonen's guidance, the bods at Alfa Romeo just simply had enough of Giovinazzi's inconsistency and instead would replace him with the brand new talent and Ferrari Academy driver and 2020 F2 champion Mick Schumacher. But at the same time though, Giovinazzi had been such a good sport, he's an Italian driver, Ferrari would want to keep him in the sport, so they just think, oh, we'll just stick him in with Haas, with Mazepin. It's not going to be a fun year for Italian Jesus, is it? Okay, so why would Mick benefit more at Alfa Romeo than he would with Haas? Well, for a start, it's a car, albeit not a great one from 2021, that can actually score points. It's also a really nice connection because of the Sauber mark. Sauber and Michael Schumacher, his dad, had a connection in various other disciplines in the 80s and 90s, so it'd be sort of coming home for the young boy. I'm pretty sure that they would welcome him in with open arms. It's a very stable environment, and also he'd be under the tutelage and guidance of Kimi Raikkonen, a very quiet, stoic teammate who is not going to be ruffling any feathers, but will also be brutally honest with you if you've done something wrong. Instead of just having a teammate who is also a rookie like you, they're going to be butting heads. They definitely did. Not with Kimi though. Unless Mick did some really big idiotic gaffes that hindered his teammate. Also, it's a more integrated experience with Ferrari. We all consider Alfa Romeo at the moment to be the Ferrari B team. Ferrari can get a better understanding as to what to expect from Mick Schumacher should he actually stay in the Ferrari fold and get the call up to the senior team. And a quiet first season is what Mick Schumacher needed. He did not need the tumultuous time he had with Haas, the utter complete apathy for developing the car. I understand why they did it, but at the same time I felt really bad for the people working at Haas knowing they had a dog of a car and that they just had to make up the numbers for the entire season and just hope for the best if practically the majority of the grid just disappeared off the track. With Alfa though, there is a better chance for him to shine on the right day. That Alfa 2021 car actually was capable of scoring some decent points if the circumstances were in the right scenario. Giovinazzi actually qualified quite highly, Monza in particular, as far as I can remember. And had he not had those gaffes or span off or crashed at least 3 times, I think that Alfa could have scored some decent points, a couple of 6th places every now and again, and maybe challenged Williams for 8th place in the constructors or overtaking them. There were some missed opportunities there, and I feel like Mick, in that more stable environment, could capitalize on it. You could get some 7th places, a couple of 8th places, maybe even a cheeky 5th place if a load of cars fell off the track and Mick didn't do the same thing, and on any track where the Ferrari engine was absolutely godly. Okay, alright, Mick Schumacher and Kimi Raikkonen would have been a decent pair-up. Not particularly spectacular, but a decent one. But what about Zhou Guanyu? Where would he go in 2022? Well, I feel like he would have a place with Haas, because if you think about it, he does carry a lot of sponsorship money. And I feel that after that whole year, I think Giovinazzi would have just had enough at Haas. He probably would have been sick of the work environment and instead would have rather taken a job being just a reserve driver for Ferrari. Zhou Guanyu would have gone to Haas, given him an injection of money, and maybe that might have led to some development time and developing that car actually, and maybe a more sustained points run. And I think Haas would have gotten on with Zhou because Zhou is a much more stable and consistent driver in the rookie season, maybe some less crashes, and who knows? Haas might have cemented 8th place in the constructors instead of being much closer with AlphaTauri. But that's not the point of this what if. The point of this what if is what would Mick do? Mick's 2022 season with Alfa Romeo would be a much better one. And with Valtteri Bottas coming in as well, his more fatherly figure that he showed in 2022 with Zhou Guanyu, I think that could be fantastic and crucial for Mick's development. And especially at the beginning of the 2022 season, that Alfa was electric. It was easily the best of the rest. 4th place on its good day, the first couple of races especially. And I think after a season of stable development and training and practice, Mick could have gotten some 5th places with that car. Maybe even a cheeky podium if everything was ideal. It was possible. An Alfa Romeo podium was definitely possible. All of this resulting in Alfa Romeo definitely cementing 6th place in the constructors in this year instead of them tying with Aston Martin, because they definitely did drop off of a cliff. So for the next couple of years, I think Mick would just be treading water at Alfa Romeo, then becoming Sauber, and then becoming Audi eventually, just kind of honing his craft. Bottas as your teammate and number one would be a fantastic pick. He has the experience from Mercedes of how to run a team. The more time he spends there, the more he can actually rub off with the team, and they can then improve and boost the morale. And this would also in turn develop Mick Schumacher as well. All of this good PR would be fantastic for him. Of course, that is if he doesn't cause any crashes. But again, that more consistent and peaceful workspace would work wonders for any driver. So what would be the ultimate catalyst to see him in Ferrari red? Well, it's all to do with Charles Leclerc. His contract is up at the end of 2024. And if Ferrari end up just treading water, consistently third place in the constructors, but never really bothering the title contenders, I feel like Charles could walk. And who would take him in for 2025? Mercedes. Why would they take him? Well, he is top dollar, he is top tier, and by then, who knows, Lewis might have gotten an 8th world title and felt that by 2025 that would have been enough. He could then retire, knowing that he managed to outscore Michael Schumacher in terms of world championship titles, and just go on to do some other thing. So I think Mick would then get his chance, with then Carlos getting the chance to be the team leader. And I think he does deserve that, because we saw at McLaren in 2019 that Sainz is a very, very good team leader. He definitely helped Lando Norris become the driver that he is today. But if Charles stays at Ferrari and Ferrari do better, well, no matter. I feel like Mick would just stay at Sauber and then it would become Audi. Audi's not going to kick out a German driver who's been doing the business for that team for the last few years. I think Andreas Seidel, the CEO of Sauber, and whoever he picks to be the team principal, would realize and recognize that. Really rely upon that team lineup of Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher until Bottas chooses to retire. After then, I don't really know, because post 2026, it's hard to say because the regulations are going to be changing so considerably, you can't make any guesses. For all we know, Fernando Alonso could stay in the sport until he's 50. But of course, we didn't get that. We got Mick Schumacher as a Mercedes reserve driver for 2023, and potentially maybe replacing Hamilton once he retires. Maybe. It all depends on how long that takes. Lewis could be in the sport for the next 5 years, who knows? In any case, let me know what you think of this video format. Do let me know if you'd like to see some more, comment below. And if you'd also like to see some more of my content, check out this playlist over here.